Hello everyone, and welcome back to IELTS Time. In today's video, we're looking at Speaking Part 1, focusing on the topic, being happy. You'll hear 2 mock interviews where candidates answer the same questions. After each interview, we'll look at some of the language they use and explain how those expressions work in everyday spoken English. Let's start with Joseph.
Are you generally a happy person?
Yes, I'd say I am most of the time. I'm not happy every single day, obviously, but overall, I'm quite positive, and I try not to stress too much about things I can't control.
What usually makes you feel happy?
Simple things, really. Spending time with people I'm close to, listening to music, or even just having a productive day makes me feel happy. I also feel good when I achieve small goals because it gives me a sense of progress.
Do you think happiness is important in life?
Definitely, I think happiness gives life meaning. Without it, even success or money wouldn't feel worthwhile. Being happy also affects your mental health and how you treat other people.
What do you do when you feel unhappy?
Usually, I try not to keep it to myself. I might go for a walk, listen to music, or talk to a close friend. If I understand why I'm unhappy, it becomes much easier to deal with it.
Does spending time with family or friends make you happy?
Yes, very much. I feel most relaxed when I'm around people who know me well. Even doing nothing special like chatting or watching something together can really lift my mood.
Are you happier now than you were in the past?
I think so. As I've grown older, I've become more confident and less worried about other people's opinions. That's made me feel more comfortable with myself, which definitely increases my happiness.
What kind of activities make you feel relaxed and happy?
I enjoy exercising, especially going to the gym or playing sports. It helps me clear my head. I also like watching films or listening to podcasts when I want something more relaxing.
Do you think money can make people happy?
To some extent, yes, money can reduce stress and give people more freedom, which helps with happiness. However, I don't think it guarantees happiness, especially if someone doesn't have good relationships or purpose in life.
Is it easy for you to feel happy?
I'd say it's fairly easy as long as things are balanced. If I'm healthy, busy in a good way, and surrounded by supportive people, I don't need much to feel happy.
What makes people happy in your country?
I think people are happiest when they have job security, strong family connections, and time to relax. Socializing and enjoying free time seem to be really important for happiness here.
So that was Joseph. Let's take a look at some phrases that make his answers sound natural and how you can use them yourself. He uses feel worthwhile to talk about meaning and value. For example, you could say, helping other people makes my work feel worthwhile. When talking about unhappiness, he says, keep it to myself, which means not sharing your feelings with others. A natural example would be, I usually keep my worries to myself. He also uses lift my mood to describe small things that make him feel better. For instance, listening to music really lifts my mood after a long day. Finally, clear my head is used to talk about reducing stress or overthinking. You might hear someone say, I go for a walk to clear my head. All of these expressions are common in everyday English and work very naturally in Speaking Part 1. Let's move on and see how Blondie answers the same questions. Are you generally a happy person?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'm naturally quite optimistic, so I tend to focus on the positives rather than dwelling on things that go wrong. I have my moody moments like everyone else, but my default state is usually pretty cheerful.
What usually makes you feel happy?
It's usually the little things, honestly, like getting a seat on a crowded train or when a song I love comes on the radio. But on a deeper level, I'm happiest when I feel like I've actually accomplished something, even if it's just finishing a book I've been meaning to read.
Do you think happiness is important in life?
Definitely. I think it's the whole point of everything we do, isn't it? If you aren't happy, it's hard to find the energy to be productive or be a good friend. It's basically the fuel that keeps us going.
What do you do when you feel unhappy?
I usually need some downtime. I'll put my phone away, grab a coffee, and just go for a walk. If I'm really feeling down, I'll call my best friend and vent for a bit. Just getting those feelings out in the open usually makes them feel much smaller.
Does spending time with family or friends make you happy?
For sure. I'm quite close with my circle, so hanging out with them is my favourite way to recharge. Whether we're doing something exciting or just sitting around talking, that sense of connection is really important to me.
Are you happier now than you were in the past?
I think I am, actually. When I was younger, I used to worry way too much about what people thought of me. Now that I'm a bit older, I'm more comfortable in my own skin, which makes life a lot more enjoyable and less stressful.
What kind of activities make you feel relaxed and happy?
I love anything that lets me unplug. Cooking a nice meal while listening to a podcast is a big one for me. It's a great way to switch off my work brain and just focus on something tactile and creative.
Do you think money can make people happy?
I think it makes life easier, which definitely helps. It takes away the stress of bills and lets you afford experiences like travelling, but I don't think it's a guarantee of happiness. I've known people with plenty of money who still seemed quite miserable.
Is it easy for you to feel happy?
I try to make it easy. I'm a big believer in finding silver linings. Even if I'm having a rough day, I can usually find one or two things to be grateful for, which keeps me from spiralling into a bad mood.
What makes people happy in your country?
I think food and family are the big ones. People here love a good celebration, and any excuse to get together for a big meal usually brings out the best in everyone. There's a real community spirit that makes people feel supported and happy.
That was Blondie. Let's unpack some of the language from her answers. She talks about accomplishing something, to describe small achievements. For example, even finishing a short task makes me feel like I've accomplished something. She describes happiness as the fuel that keeps us going, using a simple metaphor. You could say, positive feedback is the fuel that keeps me going at work. When talking about rest, she uses downtime, recharge, and unplug. For instance, I need some downtime at the weekend to recharge and unplug. She also uses comfortable in my own skin to talk about confidence. A natural example would be, I'm much more comfortable in my own skin now than I was before. Towards the end, she uses expressions like spiraling into a bad mood and silver linings. For example, I try to find silver linings instead of spiraling into a bad mood. These phrases add colour and sound very natural in spoken English. That brings us to the end of today's lesson on the topic, being happy. As you practice, focus on picking up useful expressions and using them naturally in your own answers, rather than memorising full responses. If you found this video helpful, feel free to like it, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment below. It really helps support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.